Wow.
Oh my gosh, please sit down.
Wow.
Sit down, you guys. Wow. Crazy. Wait, no, seriously, sit down. Now they're all just
this is actually a fire
standing.
hazard. Yeah.
Yeah, sit down. They're all standing silently. This is creepy.
I don't like this. This is scary. This is liminal.
Why are they all swaying silently side to
wow.
side?
This is very David Lynch. I don't appreciate this.
Hey, welcome to ABCD. I'm your host. But before I say my name, allow me to introduce my co-host.
Okay.
A Bollywood Nepo baby himself. Because I don't know if you know this, but he spawned from one of Hrithik Roshan's abs. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Omar Najam.
Oh, thank you. That's true. My father is Hrithik Roshan's abs.
Yep. And your mom is Hrithik Roshan. Isn't that weird?
And let me introduce to you all the host of this show for this week at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
He heard pitter-patter on his rooftop one morning, went out and scared Jack Frost so much that he fell off, passed away, making him the new Jack Frost. And he is solely responsible for blanketing California in snow this week. That's right. It's Disney's 1990 hit film Jack Frost, starring Sandeep Parikh.
Hey, thank you. Wait, am I a character in a movie? Am I Jack Frost or am I a character in a movie, Jack?
Okay, so
I'm very confused.
To clarify, I do think this is pretty straightforward, but we wanted to do the Santa Claus again, but Tim Allen really has his claws in it. So we rebooted it with Jack Frost, which is public domain.
Okay.
So that's you. Yep. You're in the film.
Yep.
This is a Disney Plus exclusive. And as a marketing campaign, we're saying that you were responsible for the giant blizzard that hit California this week.
Wait, are you telling me that the blizzard was a marketing? Like, that's not real snow out there? It's all marketing?
It's all marketing. That's Disney
Wow.
bucks at work. Yeah.
Man, Disney's got a lot of money. It controls the weather. Disney controls the weather. It is crazy that we had snow, man. It's crazy.
It's wild. We both tweeted about this simultaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will get to the rest of the introduction, but really quickly, we have to talk about the fact that Los Angeles had snow, and I don't mean you drove out 30 minutes outside of LA, which you can do and see snow. I did it today. Yep. It was literally in the Hollywood Hills. There was snow enough to make snowballs.
Yeah. So hell has frozen over, ladies and gentlemen. It's look out for them pigs flying. It was crazy. It was crazy. All right. Well, this show. Mm-hmm. This show is called ABCD. Mm-hmm. It's American-born Chatty Desis. Mm-hmm. Just for those who are listening for the first time, it's a podcast within a live stream. We're actually live right now. And that live stream is within our lives as two American-born Desis. It's a pod duckin'. Get it? Like a turd. Don't make me explain this joke. This is for anyone out there who, like us, like me and Omar, are navigating our cultural identities. We don't get it. We're confused by it, and we want to chat it out. That's right. What this show's about.
That's right. And we're doing it in 3 acts. Act 1.
Tell them.
We start with a chucker check-in, where we hone in on a topic that's currently affecting our alignments. Today is our relationship with Bollywood movies. We're going to get into that. It might get really emotional. Then
we might start.
We're gonna get a little angry. We're gonna get a little aggro. If you're ready for this, because Act 2, we pit our American-born side against our Desi side in a death match debate. This week, we're going straight for the heart of the matter: Bollywood versus Hollywood. And at the end of one of them will exist and one of them won't. And finally, we wrap up the show by nominating our Desi of the week. And then, Blammo, you get to go back to your life with just a little bit more cojones in your life.
Yeah. And hey, we got some sponsors. We got 2. One, DesiQuest. Okay, that's an actual play TTRPG. That stands for tabletop role-playing game. Set in a South Asian mythology-inspired universe, built by star GM Jasmine, that bronze girl Buller. It's got an awesome cast. Includes Critical Role darling Anjali Bhimani, Dimension 20 darling Rekha Shankar, and 2 more darlings. We're the 2, and you're looking at them right now, me and Omar. So for information on how to get on our mailing list, that's kind of funny. You can't get on our mailing. For information on how to get on it, it's like we're making this an escape room. You got to figure out. This is a whole thing. You got to go to DesiQuest.com, DESI. You know how to spell quest.com. or click the link in our show notes, and then you'll find the breadcrumb trail begins for you.
Let me, for those listening, I'll describe a QR code that you can scan.
Mm-hmm. White square, black square, white square, white square, black square, white square, black square.
Next line.
Return carriage. All right. And our next sponsor is you guys. You listening. You're the ones that actually do really genuinely make this show happen. We have Patreons that help us keep the lights on. And I'm going to be singing for some of your names in the credits. I mean, it's very Bollywood, right? So I'm going to sing your names in the credits. But if you want to be involved in that, if you want to be in that list of sung names, then please head on over to patreon.com/EffinFunny. It really helps us out. You know, helps us make this show way better. We brought on an editor recently, and let me just say, I didn't wait until we had enough Patreons to afford an editor to bring. We just brought on the editor. We're doing it. We're going for it. So it really does help us out if you jump on Patreon and help us grow this thing. That's it.
Heck
Love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, should we get to the heart of the show?
I feel I can hear the beat.
It's time for our Chuck or Check-In.
Oh, yeah.
Oof, every time. That's when I know that my Sunday is really set in.
Yeah. It lands with that sound effect, right?
So we're going to be talking about Bollywood. We're going to be talking about our relationships to Bollywood. Let's start. Let me really quickly, though, ask you, Sandeep.
Yeah.
Are you a big Bollywood guy? Are you up on all? Do you like on the Saturday morning? You know what I'm talking about? The local channel that you click on and watch the music videos. That's like it looks like an auntie just is like streaming from like a green screen in her living room. That's like here's all the songs that you need to know for this week. Are you? You're not.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. Saturday mornings. Yeah, I used to watch it with my mom. I would get up and just watch, and it's just you're just watching. It's TRL, but it's like
Shut
previews.
up. I see. This is how not like in the world I am. I didn't even know about that. That sounds incredible. I wish I had that channel. Was it a paid channel?
No, it was a very unpaid channel. One of those that you definitely got. Like one of those.
Really?
Like, if you have a TV, you definitely have this channel.
I don't know if
channels?
I don't know if New Hampshire got it. It is unclear to me that New Hampshire would have found. Like I feel like it would block the airwaves that would receive it if it could.
Saturday mornings, it was between the show about fishing and the show about carving wood in the shape of the fish that you caught. It was between those two for you guys. Well,
this is how untethered I am to Bollywood, and like honestly, it gives me anxiety because this makes me feel like almost so. Like the most coconutty I could possibly feel, and that's brown on the white outside, white on the inside. Yes. For those of you unfamiliar with the term,
where's the fissure there? Where's the fissure? The connection to your culture?
Well, so okay, look, my parents. So I was thinking about this because I knew we were going to talk about this. My parents aren't super into Bollywood. I mean, they're into the music, like the love songs from like. The Amitabh Bachchan love songs and stuff like that. Like that I think they played a bit, but then my dad is like more on the religious side, so he's like, he has this like his own little struggle with it. He's like, oh, that's just frou-frou stuff. We should always be praying to God and like singing to God. And so like there's this like, so they didn't have it. Point is that they didn't really push it on us at all. And so then I'm in New Hampshire. I'm the only brown kid. Like I wasn't going to gain any status in my day-to-day life by, memorizing Bollywood musical numbers. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So it just wasn't a big part of my life growing up. And then when I got to college and like, there was actually other brown people around me at Brown. Then I was like, and then they were like watching Bollywood films and like knew it all. I just felt this tremendous imposter syndrome.
I see.
Where, I knew like big movie, like at the time, like Kuch Kuch Hote Hai was really big, and so like I'd watch it
Right.
a bunch because I was like, oh,
Right.
I'm gonna like know this movie so that I could be cool with people. It all
Mhm.
felt very like I'm trying to connect. It didn't. It never came from like, oh, I really want to watch on my own. Kind of like wasn't
Yeah.
self motivated. It came from a place of like fear and anxiety of like feeling like I'm not um truly Indian because I don't really watch Bollywood films. What about you? What's your connection to Bollywood films? At least sort of,
Yeah,
how did it
yeah, yeah,
start
yeah,
for you?
yeah, yeah. Well, let me push you real quick before I
Fine.
alley oop that energy ball. What, if you had to pick one, which chakra do you think that has most affected you? Like at the end of this segment, if we could kind of
Yeah.
get that wheel spinning again, which one would it be for you?
Yeah, I think it's probably I think it is heart chakra in the end. It's like where I
Oh,
feel the kind of block, where I feel this like disconnect. You know, that the heart chakra, the anahata chakra is like about love and acceptance and compassion and kindness. And I
hmm,
feel like especially I feel it in the acceptance part, like
right.
that because I'm not super well connected to Bollywood films, that I don't feel accepted um as a brown dude, as an Indian dude.
Right.
And so yeah, I think that's where it kind of is jammed for me, if that makes sense.
Wow. Okay. 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 Yeah. For me, I think it like I didn't watch a lot of Bollywood growing up, but when I visited my cousins in Illinois, that's where I would catch up on all of my Bollywood films. Like we would just like run through like the big ones of like the summer
Yeah.
and watch a bunch. And I had to like everything had to be constantly explained to me where I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't pick up on this trope or I don't understand why that
Right.
joke is so funny." And as time has gone on with movies like, I mean, this is a little bit older one, but like Humtum, um, there are like, it's a little bit more catered to Western audiences, I might say.
Yep.
But I do feel like for me, the block is the solar plexus chakra because that's like confidence. And I
Mm.
think for me, it was always like, let's introduce you to this thing, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
this is not yours. It's kind of like a thing that you probably need to pick up on. And so I think I come into it a little bit. And I studied like Indian cinema and stuff in college. But it is that thing where like I'll have like a gory or like a white friend who will like talk to me about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, did you see this?" And I'm like, "Nah." The answer's always going to be no unless you show it
Oh,
to
like
me.
they've seen a Bollywood film and then
I
they've
know
asked you if
I
you've
have
seen it.
so many gory friends who have seen like who are on top of Bollywood films
Yeah.
and no,
This
and
is
they're just
where,
like, "This is playing at like a Regal Cinema," and I'm like, I didn't
yeah.
realize.
See, I think New Hampshire had none of that really, and
Yeah.
I'm a little bit older than you, so I think that like people weren't as like hip to other cultures really or Bollywood. Like I think it's a different story now. Like I see my nephews and nieces,
Hmm.
and they have a better connection to Bollywood because they have the internet, they
Right.
have really easy ways to access the films or the clips or the highlights all the time, and so they feel a stronger connection. We're this like lost generation, or I feel like I'm in this lost generation that just didn't have any of that
Hmm.
access. And so
Hmm.
that was the other thing. So it was like it's difficult to even get a Bollywood film over to me. I had my parents that were sort of like meh on them, didn't really like,
Right.
they weren't going to pay the extra money to get ZTV, so like they didn't really go for it. And then the language barrier was like twofold for me, where it was like not only do I not um, speak my own Gujarati, that well,
Right.
like most of the films are in Hindi. So like,
Right.
like if they were in Gujarati, then I think I could have like, probably understood most of them. But so there's like this other layer of like, that's an even more foreign language to me. Um, and so even when I got the chance to watch a movie, it was in Hindi, often not subtitled. And then like my parents were like, if they were the ones translating, they'd be like, "Oh wait, what's that word in?" They're like, like they didn't, like they were better with Gujarati than they were Hindi, so like, so it was just it felt very inaccessible. So then by the time I got older, and I was like, "Oh man, I really think this is a good thing to connect to," because like,
Yeah.
by the way, this is the only representation where we saw ourselves potentially as heroes of the story.
Hmm.
Like saw Indians being kick ass and um, doing cool, things to win the day
Yeah.
was like pretty much through these films because that wasn't really represented in Hollywood. So
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask this then. What can we do for you to then now feel that connection. You're an adult, right?
I'm an
You
adult.
can get
I think.
you can access to these movies.
Yeah.
Like how can we get you aligned? What's the strategy here?
Yeah, well, so look, I think I'm starting there because I like Triple R. I thought was incredible.
Right.
So well, listen, I should say that I have seen some of them. Like, it usually takes like, it usually takes like, oh man, that was Oscar nominated. Like Lagan, and then like, or hey, this is like really genuinely a funny film. You should check it out. 3 Idiots, and I'm like, yeah. Then I watched that, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. It's just still getting it into the rhythm and the cadence of my life is difficult. But what I'm sort of hoping for is that doing more stuff like DesiQuest or even this podcast is that it's going to start bringing it into my life more, because it's also something that I'm going to want to share with Kieran, my son. And so I think like, that's, I think it's about how, like you say, Bollywood is like getting a little bit more for a more global or Western audience. Like it's like meeting in the middle, like, oh, I need to sort of stretch a little bit, and probably understand Hindi a little bit better than I do and stuff like that. And also it's cool that like, I feel like Bollywood's evolving to be more, be more something that would, I guess, typically play well in a Hollywood sense.
Yeah, I mean, Triple R being such a huge hit. What I like about what you're saying, and in terms of like relating to the heart chakra, is that like you're saying you're doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like I like that.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you're doing all these things. So it's not just like absorbing and just like, I should probably be on top of this. It's like with DesiQuest and stuff and everything that you're creating, you want to share with your family. And I feel like you're kind of breaking that cycle a little bit of like what, prevented you maybe from that connection. And you're leading with it. Because I feel like a lot of stuff was like emotionally was what blocked you off. And I like that now you're just like leading through emotion of like you're inviting yourself in by participating and doing stuff.
Yeah, it's like no one else is gonna really. It has to come from me. It has to be intrinsic motivation. It can't, like, even it, like, I guess if in college there was a girl that I had a huge crush on that was like super into Bollywood, then that would have been some good,
good motivator.
Good motivator. But like that's gone now, and I married a type A white girl from Connecticut, so I'm not gonna get that from anywhere else but me at this point.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's the work, but it is cool to like genuinely see something like Triple R and go like, this is so awesome. I had to text all my friends.
Yeah.
And tell them like, hey dude, we got this is a backyard screening. Like we have to watch this together. This is so fun. You guys are gonna love it. And so I think it is cool that I feel like, and that, by the way, that's not even really Bollywood, that's Tollywood technically. So, but it is cool to see that sort of evolution happening, or that sort of collapse, I guess, or flattening of the global market. Like people, like everyone is thirsting for voices from that side of the world, I think.
And and it's kind of scrubbing out like a lot of those like communication barriers too. I feel like that, or at least like the way we feel about that, where it's like I might not get everything or I might not understand everything. Like Triple R was released in like a handful of languages. Like on Netflix, you can like watch it with different subtitles, with different dubbing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, totally. I watched it in the Hindi dubbing.
Yeah,
I didn't even watch it in the Tamil, the original Tamil that it was in. Right? Was it a Tamil?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. I'll double check.
That sounds right to me too.
We'll take a quick commercial break.
It's Telugu.
Or
Telugu.
It's Telugu.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. See? Imposter syndrome all over again.
But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to be more forgiving of myself for not having the full knowledge. I think that I'm like, that's the expectation in this conversation. I'm realizing for myself, that's my chakra block, is there is an expectation of like, you should know about this because you're Desi. And in this conversation and in this episode, I'm going to be more forgiving to myself and be like, hey, if there's a couple things I don't know, that's all right. If other people have the ability to learn things, so do I. Like instead of coming in and just being like, here's all the things I don't know, I'm going to be like, here's all the things I would like to know. And I think that maybe if I approach it that way, it'll change a little bit for me.
Yeah, and like honestly, the people that are like judgmental and shitty about it, like those are people you don't really want in your life anyway. Like it's fine.
It's true.
You know, honestly, it's self-sorting. And I always forget that. You know, and most of the time it's not even close to that. Most of the time it's people going like, "Oh, that's cool. Like it's totally fine that you don't know this stuff. Let me help you understand it." Like I end up inventing more, you know, like that my like cousins in India are judging me than that is actually true. It's like mostly not true, but in my head I've like invented this whole narrative. You know, that I'm being judged or I'm being, you know, somehow outcast, and it's quite the opposite. They're also feeling like, how do I connect with my cousin?
Yeah.
And you know, it's just making more, like, I guess I don't know, kind of taming that little anxiety demon a bit and going like, dude, you know, no, that's not true. These are not. You're not speaking truth in this case. You know. It's okay to be, I think one of the things that I was listening to like a Tara Brach. I don't know if you listen to her at all. She's a Buddhist, podcaster. She's great. And she has this whole thing about like, what are you unwilling to feel? Like meditate on like what you're unwilling to feel. And what comes up for me all the time when I hit that is, I'm unwilling to feel stupid. I hate feeling stupid. And one of my biggest blocks for foreign languages in general has always been feeling like, wow, I must sound like an idiot to these people that understand it fluently. Like this must sound like, you know, second grade vocabulary coming out of an adult's mouth, and like I must look like an idiot. And this is all in my own head. Right. And it's just such a limiting belief, and it's such bullshit, and most people are like happy that you're attempting to connect and converse for the most part. You're
so right. There are more people who are excited that you're about to like something than people who want to stop you from enjoying a new thing.
That's right.
I like that.
And if there are those people that want to like that aren't that way, then cast them out of your life. Like you don't need like you don't need that shit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I feel good. I feel like that kind of like I feel a little bit more aligned. I feel pretty solid about that.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. I feel like I had to get that off my literal chest, off my literal heart chakra. So thanks for letting me vent. I feel like would make a great therapist, Omar.
Together, if we were drift compatible for this is a reference to a separate conversation outside of the podcast, but if we were Pacific Rim Jaeger that was also a therapist, I feel like we would do pretty good.
Yeah. Oh man, I'd watch that movie. All right, now it's time. Now that we're all aligned and connected and feeling good, now it's time to get adversarial. It's time for American Born versus Desi. This is the segment where we pick two related subjects, one with an American flair, the other with a South Asian flair, and we pit them together, or pit them against each other in a debate death match. And this week, coincidentally, totally coincidentally, it's Bollywood versus Hollywood. Are those like royalty free sound cues?
Yes, I tried to find the closest royalty free versions I could do.
Yes.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Well done. From John Billiams. And A. Car Brahman. Oh my gosh.
It's the Kroger brand versions of Bollywood and Hollywood music.
Totally. So Omar and I each take a side.
Yep.
I'm gonna be Hollywood this time. Omar is the B Wood.
Yeah.
And we're gonna we're gonna spit some serious truth bombs. We're gonna argue. We become like the advocates for those sides. And then you, the live audience in chat, you guys get to vote via poll, which is the winner. And the stakes here are legit, okay? The winner reigns supreme and gets to become next week's host, like I am now, the host, as you can tell, obviously. So is last week's winner. And the loser gets relegated to lowly, lame co-host, and their subject is wiped off the face of the earth. All right? So Bollywood or Hollywood is going after this conversation, after this debate right now. And let's roll to see who goes first. Odds me, evens Omar.
Here we go. And we're rolling. That's
Okay.
you. Odds you. Hollywood goes first.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start off with the word itself. The word Bollywood is a derivative of Hollywood. It's a portmanteau. It's Bombay plus Hollywood, right? And portmanteaus, they can't be better than the original. Like, for example, another portmanteau that is also never better than the original. The word prequel. I rest my case. Prequel is never better. Right?
Right. That does happen to be something that your side of the argument loves. The Star Wars films were so good enough we didn't have to get into taxation or the ability to shoot a shield generator. But you folks just chase that bottom dollar and you have to find a way to do it. But let's not get into that really quickly. Let's get into slander. I want to talk about Bollywood for a second.
Okay.
I want to talk about what Bollywood is. Bollywood is culture. Folks, when you're voting on this, you're voting not just which one is the dominant one, it's also which one is not erased from all of history. And if you erase Bollywood, let me tell you what you lose. You lose that culture. You also lose those costumes. You also lose that beautiful cinematography. You also lose all the music. That's right. So much of music in India and the general South Asian market is written specifically for Bollywood films. You'd be getting rid of all of that music. You'd also be getting rid of one of the most important aspects of the show, the diaspora. Bollywood is what connects us. You can pull any South Asian person and you can talk about Bollywood. It's not specific newspapers. It's not specific books. And honestly, if it's music, it's the music from these films, as we mentioned beforehand. Bollywood connects us. You want to sever that connection? Do you really want to do that to us? The diaspora? Think about that. Over to you, Sandeep.
Well, just like those movies, that argument was already too long. Listen, look, the movies they're great, but they're long, man. Like you might go into RRR or RRR ready to LMAO, but you're gonna come out ready to join the AARP. All right. The average length is 3 hours. That's over 180 TikToks. You can spend 15 minutes or less finding out if Geico can save you on car insurance 12 times. and you better love watching 40 minutes of song and dance while the narrative is at an absolute standstill. All right? Over to you, Omar.
Yes, the movies are a little long. That's true. Bollywood films want you to get the most for your money. With one ticket, we're going to give you as much entertainment as possible. But we're going to do something else. We're going to give you an intermission. That's something that Hollywood doesn't do. You want to talk about long run times? There was an app that buzzed in your pocket during Avengers Endgame to let you know when you could go to the bathroom so you wouldn't miss something important. Hollywood isn't built with this infrastructure. Okay? This is the architect of Mad Men. This is falling apart. The next John Wick movie, Sandeep, is 3 hours. When am I supposed to go get a candy refill? I don't know. It's not baked in. This is tough. This is tough. Hollywood is creeping towards that 3-hour movie. And when we know Hollywood goes in a direction, they continue to go. It's going to be a 4-hour movie. It's going to be a 5-hour movie. We're not ready for that. I would love to sit down and enjoy a beautiful 3-hour Dilsray with a nice intermission in the middle. It's a gorgeous film, and it's a gorgeous experience. And that's something that Hollywood doesn't offer to me.
I'm just going to remind everybody here now that Hollywood is more than just movies. All right? It's also TV. So you want to instantly cancel Succession, The Last of Us, Stranger Things, Ted Lasso, Severance, and for the parents out there, Paw Patrol and Storybots? Omar wants to take Storybots away from your children. That's what's happening here.
Now, I do want to take Storybots away from children, but that's a separate argument. Let me quickly list off something very quickly for you, Sandeep. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay. 1976 Feathered Spirit. You still with me?
No.
1986 Delta Force. Are you still with me? 1986 Short Circuit. 1986 Aliens. 1997 Austin Powers. 1997 The Lost World Jurassic Park. 2002 Master of Disguise. Do you see where I'm going with this? 2008 The Love Guru. This one I think will really paint a picture of where I'm going. 2010 The Prince of Persia. We can also talk about 2013 The Lone Ranger, and we could also discuss the Canadian Prime Minister. Hollywood has a horrible secret, which is this: brown face, people.
Sure.
That list of movies was just a short collection of the amount of times that Hollywood has tried to replace us with white actors. Is that the kind of thing we should be supporting here? Is that the kind of thing that on this podcast we should be supporting? You know who has you know who Bollywood has playing brown roles, Sandeep? Us. And hey, maybe I'm old fashioned, but I don't mind that at all.
You want to get into diversity? I'm happy to get into diversity. It's not perfect by any stretch, but Hollywood is more diverse than Bollywood, all right? Michelle Yeoh is about to win an Oscar. We all know it. You can name a Hollywood star from every continent on this earth. Sofia Vergara, South America. Jackie Chan, East Asia. Priyanka Chopra, South Asia. That's right, Asia gets 2. Tons of Aussie actors leading the way, Nicole Kidman say. Lupita Nyong'o from Africa. And the Antarctic Penguins from March of the Penguins. So we got all 7 continents covered. All right. Yeah, I don't think you can name Bollywood stars from every continent. I just don't see it. And so, by the way, if you want to get super real about this,
okay,
there are studies that show that there is a caste prejudice, right? A significant upper caste Hindu bias for Bollywood films. In Bollywood, the great hero nearly always has a Hindu name, while the portrayal of Muslims is restricted and often stereotyped, right? So it's not a perfect, picture, even though, yes, they handle brown face a lot better in that they put actual brown humans with brown faces. But I'm just saying, it's not, we each have our demons, and I feel like there is more global diversity in Hollywood films.
Okay. Let's get down to some brass tacks then. Let's get down to some brass tacks. If you get rid of Bollywood, you know what else you get rid of, Sandeep? You get rid of Hollywood. That's right.
How dare you?
It's baby in the bathwater. You want to talk about some Oscar contenders? Let's talk about the film Moulin Rouge. I'm just pulling one sort of out of the ether. That film features the song Chama Chama. That movie is solely based in Bollywood cinema. If you get rid of Bollywood, you start to get rid of all the Hollywood films that are inspired by Bollywood. You start to get rid of all the dance sequences that have been inspired. You get rid of all the costuming. You get rid of all that cinematography. You get rid of all that choreography. Suddenly, Hollywood, what's left? Problematic portrayals of characters like the Prince of Persia? And is that what we want? Prince of Persia 17? No, I don't know. I'm on Taylor Swift's side on this. No more Jake Gyllenhaal. Thank you very much, Sandeep. I'm good.
All right. I want to hit my closing. Hollywood's influence on global culture cannot be denied. Thanks to Hollywood, we've been constantly reminded why life is worth living, why it's worth fighting for. We've marched with the Penguins, as I mentioned. We've also relived marching across that bridge in Selma with Dr. Martin Luther King and Oprah. It's the stuff that dreams are made of. The Maltese Falcon, 1941. You may contend that Bollywood's influence is similar, but I say inconceivable. Princess Bride. I know it's tough to strike it down, but sometimes the truth is hard to handle. A few good men. Could you imagine a world without Hollywood? Houston, we'd have a problem. Apollo 13. I wouldn't want to live in that world. A world without Robin Williams inspiring us to carpe diem. A world with an empty box of chocolates. And never knowing when Arnold will be back, a world where the Force wouldn't be with us. Dear voters, you wouldn't want that world either. Lying there, sitting in your deathbeds many years from now, would you trade all the days from this day to that for just one chance to tell Omar that he may take our lives, but he'll never take our movies, our precious movies. Do the right thing, vote for Pedro and for Hollywood.
All right, that is way over time, but that's sort of the classic standard here is time runs out and then Sandeep's got a 1-minute closer to tag on, so not really bucking any trends here.
Bold move to hit it with a Mel Gibson reference at the end there. Real spicy swing, real spicy choice there, Sandeep.
Listen. It was
I will say
before
no
we
ma-
knew he was problematic.
Whoever wins or loses, I do need to say I agree. You should be writing the AMC pre-previews, little sketches where they just use movie quotes.
That was fun to write this morning.
And Hollywood says you can't sit with us.
Where are we at in the voting?
Hollywood currently has a strong lead. We got a little bit of time left here in the vote. Probably maybe about 30 seconds left in the vote for the live chatters.
Wow,
but
voting
Hollywood
to
is
get
looking real
rid of
strong.
Hollywood.
And this is the same chat that like removed coffee from the face of the earth.
Yeah, that's true. It's not. Well, it's
Yeah.
kind of pushing back.
I will
Bollywood's starting
say,
to make
though-
a comeback.
Come on, folks. We're keeping it open. And I
It's
need
mere
you to
seconds
remember,
left.
what's at stake here? With triple
Yeah.
R.
Yeah. No, I'm listening. This is not an easy choice. It was tough. This was like, I felt a little bit like a lawyer who knew his defendant was guilty.
Hey, but you did your job as an attorney. You know, you just got to make sure that no other rights are violated. That's all
That's
what you
right.
did, and you succeeded. Hollywood has won it with 67% of the vote. Hollywood.
67.
Wow.
Now
That's
you
close.
don't have to feel stressed about not being up to date on the Bollywood films because they're gone.
I feel bad. This one I feel bad about. Like the sitar, I was like, but take it out, Bollywood. That does hurt. That does hurt. Oh man, it's tough. That's a tough one.
This is rough.
Well done, Omar. I mean, I feel like, I would have voted for Bollywood.
Thank
So-
you. Thank
so,
you.
Yeah,
I thought I had it with the
Prince.
Prince of Persia argument.
No, that
I
was
really-
that one cut deep, skin deep. I remember, dude. I have a crazy story about. We'll save that for the after show. So
Okay.
if you're listening on the podcast, this is the type of thing where you're gonna want to join us live, 7:30 on Sundays, because I got a story where I met the creator of the Prince of Persia right before the movie came out, and I had the conversation about how
Wow.
why Persians so white. and I'll reveal that after in the after show. Should
Well,
we jump to
before
our
then,
next?
let's go to our next segment,
Yeah.
which at this point might be a little moot. This is the Desi of the week.
Yeah.
And this person's body of work might not exist anymore.
Remember, it
Yep.
happens. Everything
It happens-
disappears
There we
after the show, right? So,
Yeah, after the
yeah.
show.
Okay.
So enjoy it while you can, folks. Our Desi of the week this week is Shah Rukh Khan. SRK himself.
Yes, indeed. Shah Rukh Khan. So why Shah Rukh now, right? I mean, he's the Desi of the freaking score, practically. But if for those of you who don't know, he's an Indian actor and film producer who works in Hindi films. It says here. Yeah, that's an understatement. Referred to in the media as the Badash or the Bad Shah. Wow, of Bollywood. And King Khan. He has appeared in more than 90 films and earned numerous accolades, including 14 Filmfare Awards. But why is he the why is he the Desi of the week this week?
That's
Omar?
because he has, if I'm not mistaken, grossed. These are the his film Pathan has topped the global box office century mark, getting there in just 12 days on Sunday with 103.6 million through Monday. Is that correct? This is the first Bollywood movie to reach the $100 million milestone without a release in China. This is huge.
Yeah, this is huge. And so listen, I'm sure Shah Rukh counts this honor of Desi of the Week amongst the Filmfare
I would say the
Awards.
highest.
I mean, this is huge for Shah Rukh. Like, he's finally getting our attention. But this is cool. I mean, this is a big deal. You can see Bollywood, Tollywood really making its mark globally and pushing into the zeitgeist. And I think, this is exciting for us. So happy to bestow SRK with yet another, well, we don't have a statue or anything, but another accolade. I
Yeah.
think he deserves it for sure.
Shah Rukh, you're going places.
Yeah. This kid's going places, you know. Keep an eye on that SRK. I think he might be onto something.
Keep an eye on this global phenomenon. Since like the late 80s. Just keep an eye on him.
Yeah, and he just kind of keeps getting hotter too. Like that's the thing I'm a little confused about. Like I feel like when he started out, he was like Jim Carrey. Like he was like goofy and funny and like adorkable, you know. And then he just like just gets sexier and sexier. Like look at this freaking picture of him in this thing. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like I am very straight and I want to make sweet, sweet love to this man. Like I'm going to go ahead and just say that.
It's similar to if Zooey Deschanel became Gaia. Like that's the comparison we could make from the 90s to now.
Look at them pecs. Look at them pecs.
Unbelievable.
I don't mean to objectify him, but yeah, just whatever avocado ice cream or whatever the hell he's eating to freaking never age. We're gonna have to figure out whatever that formula is. Maybe it's just a lot of money. Maybe just swimming in money keeps you young.
The green in the avocado shake is pure cash.
It's just dollars. All right. Well, look. How do we tie this into the theme? What was our theme? Connection to Bollywood.
Relationship to Bollywood.
Look, here it is. It's
maybe
falling in love with SRK.
Maybe it's this. Savor it while it lasts.
Yeah.
Instead of putting a big thing upon it, why don't we just celebrate the wins we have instead of worrying about anything else? SRK, your win, and I'm gonna say it, is our win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Good
we're
for
taking
us.
right. Those are our Filmfare awards. Well, look, that's the show. As always, if you want to see our lovely faces and all the VODs and other ways that you can hang out with us, these are all in the show notes. Please rate and comment because that helps. I know you guys are listening. I'm seeing the numbers are growing, but I'm not seeing a lot of comments and it hurts my feelings. So I'd like some comments. I'm just going to go ahead and beg for comments. But if you have any suggestions on what you'd like out of this show or feedback, you can send that stuff directly to us at abcdpodcastshow@gmail.com or join our EffinFunny Discord because we're there all the time hanging out. So that's it. Oh, by the way, we're going to be signing off in mid-March because we're going to be shooting DesiQuest. So stay tuned for more updates. This is our second to last show before we go dark for a couple episodes or a couple weeks rather. And then we'll be right back. Hopefully right at the end of March there. We got to figure out our schedules. But the point is, if we've disappeared and you're like, what? My life is empty now. Don't worry. We're just taking a pause so we can shoot another cool thing that you're going to love, which by the way, right, is our sponsor. DesiQuest is that role-playing game, actual play that stars us and some other amazing, awesome people. So please go to DesiQuest.com to sign up for that mailing list, and we will give you up-to-the-minute news about that show.
Yes.
And as always, you guys, I love you, and I have to go get my guitar. Hold on.
Welcome back.
I'm back. Sorry. I should put my guitar closer to me.
No, that's a good spot. It's not in another room.
So as always, here is my ballad of love to our Patreons who are at the shout out level. The last people I'd like to thank are the Patreons who put money into our bank, which include Joshua, Ryan, Tall BM, Carlo, Wuzak, Benjamin Lowe, Brendan Pace, Hunter P. Brown, Legion 247, Miranda Hollinger, and Vaden, and Michael Long.
Thank you all so much for keeping these beautiful lights on. Our lights that match. And mine are not done in post, I assure you. For those watching the VOD. Really quick, before we hit these closing credits, I just want to say there were 3 Bollywood films that I mentioned this episode that I purposely mispronounced the title of. If you can give me the correct titles of those and tweet them at me at OmerNajam, I'll draw you something. I'll draw you whatever you want.
Oh my God,
just
I
let
love
me
that.
know and I'll send it to you.
This is a room escape. The show was a room escape.
For eagle-eared listeners, I want to offer that up. But folks, we are wrapping it up here. So The show is produced by Diego Now. The show's technical director and sound designer is Dalvin Neville. The show's executive producers are Sandeep Parikh and Anand Shah. This has been an EffinFunny production.
On behalf of our co-host Omar Najam, I've been host Sandeep Parikh for this week and next. May your chakras be aligned and smothered in chutney. Thanks for listening.